What's going on, class? As you can tell, I'm sitting outside Outback. It is a beautiful day, and you can see my husky over there in the background, right over here. His name is Copper. All right, anyway, I'm going to be reading again the one and only Bob, picking up basically from where we left off. Okay, where unfortunately we are not going to get through the whole book the next 3 days because last real day of me posting stuff for you to do is Wednesday, and Thursday is going to be a fun-filled day. You'll see all that. But this is how much of the book we have left. I don't think we're going to get through it all, which is fine. But if you really like it, maybe you could go and buy it yourself. It's a really good book. I will say that. All right, anyways. Chapter is called The Shelter. I know our route to Ivan and Ruby by heart, and I can't help tugging a bit, even though I'm not supposed to. It's been a couple days since I've seen my pals, and I need my friend fixed. Like I need air and water and belly rubs. We don't live far, down the end of the street, around a corner. Good news source there. Then a few more blocks. When I walk Julia, well, okay, I suppose it looks like she's walking me, but I beg to differ. There's a place we pass that always makes me jumpy and bummed. It's the animal shelter, and I know it's a good place, a space for pets who don't have a safe home of their own. When I was abandoned on the highway, just a few weeks old, a nice cage with a soft towel in it. Oh, sorry. Just a few weeks old. A nice cage with a soft towel in it and a bowl of fresh water. Well, I would have given just about anything for that. Still, when I walk by and hear all those desperate barks and meows and squeaks, it gets to me. Sometimes having great hearing is a pain. Thing is, I realize I have a home, and the gang in there doesn't, and I try not to think about that stuff, you know? I mean, it's not like I can do anything about their tough breaks, right? And in fairness, maybe those animals aren't like me. I've always been a resilient, hard-working sort. Maybe some of these guys even made their own bad luck. Don't get me wrong, I try to be a nice guy. I do what I can to make the world a better place, sure. Chat with the guinea pigs, lick the strawberry jelly off Julia's hand, do my wagon dance when the rents come home to make them feel good. You scratch my back and I scratch yours. But it's like I said before, you gotta look out for numero uno. Guess that's why the shelter harshes my mellow. It's just, I'd rather not have to hear those guys every time I walk by. Makes me sad. Reminds me of the bad old days. I knew this guy back when I hung out at the mall with Ivan and Ruby. Nice dog named Julius. Basic mutt, maybe some lab and golden in there somewhere. He'd done some hard time at a couple of shelters. One of those dogs had seen more than his share of bad stuff. The world can throw your way. One ear bitten off, scars, a limp. Julius lived in his backyard, winter, spring, summer, fall, chained up mostly, flies on his food, empty water bowl way too often. Still, he always had a nice word to say when I'd pass him on my daily rounds, checking out the neighborhood trash cans. Once I saw his owner again, that word. Step onto the back porch. Julius was barking, but he'd had a good reason. Stranger had just passed by. Barking is what you're supposed to do in that circumstance, right? Maybe it's the UPS guy. Maybe he's a serial killer. I mean, come on. We're not the FBI. So anyways, owner came out, big guy, mean looking, gave Julius a hard kick with the boot and yelled, "Shut up, you fool." Disappeared. Julius looked at me kind of embarrassed. We kept talking. A few minutes later, the owner came out again. Put some towels on a line. Julius headed over, tail between his legs, cowering, saying, "I'm sorry, I love you. I am yours, yours, yours." With his whole dog being. Guy completely ignored him. Headed back inside. "He's having a tough time," said Julius when the guy was gone. "He's a jerk," I said, because subtly in my strong point. I said, "Yep. No, he loves me. He does." He has a funny way of showing it. "Human," said Julius, licking a sore on his leg. "You know how they can be. Do I ever. But we gotta stay true. Love them, forgive them." I thought about that. Thought about it a lot. Why, though? I finally asked. Why do we have to forgive them? Julius looked shocked and confused, as if I just asked why cheese tastes so good. "It just does. That's the way it is," he said. "That's what we do, Bob." I started to reply, but I managed to hold my tongue, which is not easy for me. It's a very long tongue with a mind of its own. There was no point in making Julius feel worse than he already did. Later that morning, I found half a turkey sandwich and gave the whole thing to him. Well, okay, I had a taste first. But still, seems like forgiving humans is one of those doggy things we're all supposed to do, like having zoomies or being or doing bed boogies. Sorry, a bird just flew by. It's written in our canine souls. Well, somehow I didn't get the memo. The one that apparently went on to every other dog on the planet about forgiveness. Why should I forgive the humans who tossed me and my siblings out into the night? When you forgive, you lose your anger. And when you lose your anger, you get weak. And when you're weak, you can get hurt all over again. By the time we reach the park, the sky is definitely in a bad mood. Gray clouds galloping like panicked horses. The nervous scent of rain on the way, the kind that makes you antsy in your own skin. When we get near the employee entrance, I hop into Julia's backpack like always. We enter through the special gate where George shows his ID, checks in, and says hi to the staff. Pet dogs aren't allowed in the park. Natch. Foxes, wolfish, jackals, my dog cousins, they are. But in my opinion, even though they're technically part of my extended family, they're nothing like dogs. Only dogs have perfected the art of human watching. The smartest thing we ever did was figure out how important the human gaze is. So often, when we follow our owner's eyes, we're rewarded with something amazing. A smelly sock, a glazed donut. A glazed donut that's fallen on a smelly sock. We follow every blink, every sidelong glance. We see it, whatever it is, before humans do. We understand before they do. And if there's a glazed donut involved, we eat it before they do. It's mid-morning, still pretty early. There aren't many visitors around yet. We've got a meeting in 20, George tells a couple of workers, Hank and Sonia, who groan. Just a quick one. Going over contingency plans one last time in case there's any flooding. During the last hurricane, a small part of the park flooded, mostly near Reptileville. George helped move the cages. He came home smelling like cotton mouths and copper heads. It was all I could do not to barf. Weather Service just issued a tornado watch, Hank says. I thought we were having a hurricane, Julia says. We are, Gus, but sometimes tornadoes are spawned during hurricanes, George explains. Julia frowned. But a watch means maybe, not for sure, right? Yeah, but I want you to head home, George says, just in case. Please, Dad, just 10 minutes, Julia says. She's using the special voice she reserves for moments when she really, really wants something from her parents. I guess kids manipulate their moms and dads the same way dogs manipulate humans. I don't know, George begins. I promised Bob. I figured that's my cue to pop my head out and look adorable. So I do. Hey, Bob, says Hank. Sonia reaches over and scratches my ears. I'm pretty popular around the park. I give George my best puppy eyes, and he caves. 10 minutes, tops, he says. Meet me back here. Puppy eyes. Works every time. All right, that's it for today, guys. Have a good one.